Gentlemen, this $200 watch looks like a $2,000 Rolex. And that's not the only secret the luxury watch industry doesn't want you to know. I've spent years testing timepieces at every price point, and today I'm revealing the affordable watches that deliver luxury without emptying your bank account. What separates the men who understand style from those who don't isn't how much they spend. It's knowing where to spend it. A discerning eye can spot quality regardless of price tag. And nowhere is this more true than in the world of watches. Today, I'm pulling back the curtain on the timepieces that deliver maximum class with minimum investment. Best watches under $1,000. Let's start with the best watches under $1,000, where things get really interesting. First, the Hamilton Khaki Field Mechanical. At around $550, this Swiss-made beauty has heritage in spades. Hamilton supplied watches to the U.S. military during World War II, and this modern interpretation stays true to that history while adding modern refinements. The hand wound movement, yes, you'll need to wind it every couple of days, features an 80-hour power reserve and is visible through the display caseback, something typically reserved for much more expensive timepieces. The matte black dial, beige superluminova markers, and perfectly proportioned 38mm case make this look like a watch that should cost 3 times as much. Next, the Longines Conquest at around $950. This is where you start to enter true luxury territory. Longines is a prestigious Swiss brand with over 190 years of history, and the Conquest offers that heritage at an accessible price point. What makes this watch look expensive is the impeccable finishing. The sunburst dial, applied indices with superluminova, and the perfectly executed bracelet with solid end links. At 39mm, it's the perfect size for most wrists, and the 300-meter water resistance means it's built to last. This is a watch that can go toe-to-toe with Rolex and Omega in terms of appearance, at a fraction of the price. For those who prefer a diver, the Mido Ocean Star at around $750 is a Swiss-made masterpiece that looks like it should cost $3,000. The ceramic bezel, a feature usually found on much more expensive watches, the gradient blue dial, and the exceptional bracelet make this a standout in the under $1,000 category. What makes the Ocean Star special is its movement, the caliber 80, which offers an 80-hour power reserve. This means you can take it off on Friday and put it back on Monday without having to reset it. A convenience typically reserved for much more expensive timepieces. Let's not forget the Frederic Constant Classics Index at around $850. This dress watch looks like something that should cost $5,000 or more. The Guilloche dial, applied Roman numerals, and blued hands give it an elegance that rivals pieces from Jaeger-LeCoultre and Patek Philippe. What makes this watch look expensive is its restraint. The clean design, perfect proportions, and attention to detail speak of luxury without shouting it. This is the kind of watch that gets noticed by people who know watches, while flying under the radar of everyone else. And finally, the Oris Aquis Date at around $950 on the pre-owned market. This Swiss diver punches so far above its weight class, it's almost unfair to other watches. The ceramic bezel insert, the integrated bracelet with its sophisticated taper, and that signature red rotor visible through the exhibition caseback. These are details you typically find on watches costing $3,000 or more. The sunburst blue dial has a depth that catches light in a way that screams luxury. And the 300-meter water resistance means this isn't just a pretty face. It's a serious tool watch that can handle anything you throw at it. When you wear an Oris Aquis, you're wearing a piece of independent Swiss watchmaking heritage that commands respect, from even the most discerning watch enthusiasts. Best watches under $500. Now let's look at the best watches under $500. Timepieces that look like they should cost 3 times as much. First up, the Seiko SRPD51. This is Seiko's modern interpretation of their classic SKX dive watch, and it's a stunner. At around $275, you're getting a watch with the DNA of pieces that cost thousands. The sunburst blue dial catches the light beautifully, and the case proportions are perfect at 42.5 millimeters. It's powered by Seiko's reliable 4R36 automatic movement, giving you that smooth, sweeping second hand that screams luxury. What makes this watch look expensive is the attention to detail. The raised indices filled with luminous material, the precisely aligned bezel, and the solid feel on the wrist. Pair this with a leather strap instead of the included bracelet, and most people will think you're wearing a high-end Swiss diver. Next, the Orient Bambino. This dress watch starts at just $150, but looks like something you'd see on a Wall Street dial, and Roman numerals give it a timeless elegance that works with everything from a business suit to smart casual attire. The Bambino comes in several versions, but I particularly recommend the version 2 with the cream dial. The contrast between the blue hands and cream face is something you typically only see in watches costing well over $1,000. And it's powered by Orient's in-house automatic movement, something virtually unheard of at this price point. Another standout in the under $500 category is the Longines Max Bill Quartz. At around $495, this German-designed masterpiece brings Bauhaus elegance to your wrist at a fraction of what you'd expect to pay. The clean, minimalist dial with its perfectly proportioned numerals was designed by Max Bill himself, a legendary architect and designer whose work sits in museums worldwide. The domed plexiglass crystal and impossibly thin bezel create an expansive dial presence that exudes sophistication. While it uses a quartz movement, the design pedigree more than compensates, giving you a watch that looks right at home alongside pieces from Nomos and Jaeger-LeCoultre, costing 5 times as much. When someone compliments this watch, and they will, you'll have the pleasure of telling them about its remarkable design heritage. For those who prefer a more sporty look, the Tissot PR100 at around $350 is Swiss-made quality that punches well above its weight. The clean, minimalist dial with applied indices and the perfectly proportioned 39mm case make this look like a watch that costs 4 figures, not 3. What makes the PR100 special is that you're getting genuine Swiss heritage. Tissot has been making watches since 1853 at a price point that's accessible to most men. The quartz movement means you won't have to worry about winding it, and the 100-meter water resistance means it can handle whatever your day throws at it. I'd be remiss not to mention the Baltic HMS 002. At around $400, this French micro-brand has created something truly special. The sector dial, a design element typically found on vintage pieces from Patek Philippe and Longines, gives this watch an old-world elegance that's impossible to fake. The stepped case, with its mix of polished and brushed surfaces, shows attention to detail you rarely see at this price point. Inside beats a reliable Miyota movement, but it's the exterior that will have people asking if you're wearing a vintage piece worth 10 times the price. The domed Hesalite crystal adds to that vintage charm, while the 38mm case size is perfect for today's return to more classically proportioned watches. This is the kind of watch that tells people you don't follow trends, you understand timeless style. And finally, in the under $500 category, we have the Citizen Nighthawk. At around $300, this pilot's watch has a presence on the wrist that rivals pieces from Breitling and IWC. The slide rule bezel, multiple complications, and eco-drive technology, which means it's powered by light, no battery changes ever, make this a conversation piece that looks far more expensive than it is. What makes the Nighthawk look premium is its technical complexity and solid construction. When someone notices it on your wrist, they'll assume you paid thousands, not hundreds. Why affordable luxury matters. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Why should you even care about affordable luxury watches? Well, in today's world, a watch is no longer just a necessity. Your smartphone tells the time. Your watch tells people who you are. It's a statement piece, a conversation starter, and often the only jewelry a man wears. But here's something most watch snobs won't tell you. The difference between a $500 watch and a $5,000 watch isn't always 10 times the quality. Often, you're paying for the brand name, the marketing, and the prestige. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with investing in a Rolex or an Omega if you have the means. But if you're like most men, you want the look and feel of luxury without having to take out a second mortgage. And that's where these affordable luxury watches come in. They give you 90% of the experience at 10% of the cost. They allow you to look like a man who knows quality without being the guy who blows his retirement fund on a wristwatch. What makes a watch look expensive? Let's talk about what actually makes a watch look expensive. Because once you understand these elements, you'll be able to spot value anywhere. First, it's all about the case. A well-finished case with clean lines, proper proportions, and a slim profile instantly elevates a watch. Look for high-quality stainless steel with a mix of brushed and polished surfaces. This contrast catches the light in different ways and is a hallmark of luxury timepieces. A refined dial with applied indices rather than printed ones, subtle texturing, and proper spacing makes a huge difference. When light hits a quality dial, it should have depth and dimension. Third, the movement. While you can't see it, unless it has a display caseback, a reliable movement is crucial. Japanese movements from Seiko and Miyota offer incredible value, while Swiss movements command a premium but often deliver better accuracy and prestige. Fourth, the bracelet or strap. Cheap watches often skimp here, but a solid bracelet with minimal rattling or a high-quality leather strap can transform the entire look and feel of a timepiece. And finally, brand heritage. Some brands have been making watches for over a century, and that expertise shows, even in their more affordable offerings. Keep these factors in mind as we've gone through my top picks, because these are exactly what I looked for when selecting these watches. How to wear these watches. Now that you know which watches to buy, let's talk about how to wear them to maximize their impact. First, match your watch to the occasion. A dress watch like the Orient Bambino or Frédéric Constant works best with business attire or formal wear, while a diver like the Seiko SRPD or Mido Ocean Star pairs perfectly with casual or smart casual outfits. Second, consider your wrist size. If you have a smaller wrist, under 7 inches, stick to watches between 36 to 40 millimeters. Larger wrists can handle watches up to 42 millimeters without looking disproportionate. Remember, an oversized watch looks cheap, no matter how much you paid for it. Third, invest in quality straps. One of the easiest ways to elevate an affordable watch is to pair it with a high-quality leather strap. A $30 handmade leather strap can make a $200 watch look like a $2,000 one. I recommend having at least one brown leather, one black leather, and one NATO strap in your collection. And finally, wear your watch with confidence. The man makes the watch, not the other way around. A $500 watch worn with confidence will always look better than a $5,000 watch worn by someone who's unsure of themselves. Gentlemen, as we've seen today, you don't need to spend thousands to wear a watch that looks expensive and commands respect. Whether you have $500 or $1,000 to spend, there are exceptional timepieces out there that deliver luxury looks without the luxury price tag. Remember, a great watch is an investment in yourself. It's something you'll wear every day, something that becomes part of your identity. Choose wisely, wear it confidently, and you'll always make the right impression. I've linked all the watches we discussed in the description below, along with my recommendations for straps and accessories to elevate them even further. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content about affordable luxury, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss out on future videos. And if you have a favorite affordable luxury watch that I didn't mention, drop it in the comments below. I'm always looking to expand my collection. Style isn't about how much you spend, it's about how wisely you spend it.